Hey everybody, it's Abby Glassenberg from Craft Industry Alliance. Hope you're having a fabulous day. We are live every Wednesday for our member spotlight, and today we are going to be joined, hopefully in just a few minutes, by Jenny Rushmore from Cashmerette Patterns. Jenny lives near me here in the Boston area, and so I'm very excited to welcome her and talk a little bit about what she's been up to. In the meantime, I wanted to tell you about two awesome upcoming events we have. One is our Craft Business Roundtable. This is a meeting for our members. We get together every single month on the first Tuesday of the month, which is coming up, and we're going to be talking about what's happening in the industry and in our businesses. And we also have a live event this month with Lyric Kennard, all about virtual teaching. So if you're interested in either of those two things, go check them out on our homepage. And I see Jenny is here, and so I'm really looking forward to hearing more about what Jenny is doing with Cashmerette Patterns and catch up with her in just a minute. So you can head to our homepage at craftindustryalliance.org, and that's where you'll be able to sign up for both of those live events that I talked about earlier. Jenny, I did accept you. I'm going to accept you again. Hopefully that will work. And don't know why I can't get that to work. Let's see. I'm just going to invite Jenny in, see if that will work. Okay, there we go. See if that does something. So Lyric Kennard, if you aren't familiar with her, but she's going to be teaching our virtual teaching session. And Lyric is an expert at virtual teaching. She runs a whole academy on this topic. And she's going to be teaching us coming up in, I believe it is the second Thursday of August. And she'll be teaching us all about how to turn content you've already created into an online class that's either something that folks can watch because it's pre-recorded, or it has a live element maybe on Zoom, or a little bit of both, and kind of supplement your income with virtual teaching. So she will go over everything from equipment that you might need, how to structure the content, how to market the class, all of that stuff. So I'm really excited to learn from her. Jenny, it says that you're unable to join, and I don't know why. Oh, there you are.
It kept on saying, cannot send requests, so I don't know what that was about.
That's very strange. Well, welcome, Jenny. I'm so glad that you were able to make it, and I'm looking forward to hearing what's going on at Cashmerette Patterns. But for people who just maybe aren't, for some reason, familiar, I don't know how that could be, with Cashmerette, tell us a little bit about what Cashmerette's all about.
Sure. So Cashmerette is a brand. We're all about empowering sewists who have big boobs to sew clothes that fit really well and basically like express your personality. We started as a plus size brand specifically, but now we have sizes 0 to 32, cup sizes C to H, and a whole host of products, although it's kind of rooted in sewing patterns for garments.
Okay, great. And how did you get into garment sewing yourself?
So I learned to sew when I was 30. So unlike a lot of people, like I didn't learn from a grandmother or anything. And basically, it was two things. One, I'm very creative. So I've always done like drawing and things like that. And I thought sewing sounded like an interesting thing to learn. And the other reason is I was just incredibly frustrated never being able to find clothes that fit me. So I am about the American national average of a 14, 16, and I have an H cup bust, and I couldn't find almost anything at all. So it seemed like a really great opportunity. When I learned, thought, I'll probably never even be able to make a t-shirt, but I got very hooked, and here I am.
Yeah, that's fantastic. So what was the first pattern that Cashmerette launched with?
The first one we launched was the Appleton dress, which actually remains a bestseller for us 7 years later. So it's kind of interesting how many of the early ones have actually turned into classics. And it's a classic wrap dress in the kind of, Diane von Furstenberg kind of mode. And we have these cup sizes. And what that means, together with the together with sort of clever construction, is that it doesn't gape. So it looks really great, especially if you've got big boobs. It's like a very, very kind of like good look on people of all sizes. And you can like lean over and jiggle and nothing goes anywhere. So I think that's basically the reason that it's become incredibly popular.
Yeah, and these patterns for folks who are new to sewing, is there help, whether it's through a sew along or through videos for people who might be thinking, well, I would like to sew my own clothes, but I've never done something like this.
Yeah, so unlike, for instance, sewing like a big four pattern or something you get from Joann's, we actually have like much, much more help. And it really ranges. There's a very, very wide range of ways we help people. So we have tons of free help on our blog. We have photographic sew-alongs, we have tutorials. We also have online workshops that you can purchase, including on how to fit, but also like how to sew jeans, how to sew swimsuits and things like that. And then also the latest big thing we came out with, which is proving incredibly popular, is our Cashmerette Club, which is a new monthly subscription program. And in that, you get a free pattern every month, but you also get a masterclass from me. And I go into like lots and lots and lots of detail on all the different aspects of fitting. And fundamentally, like that's what we focus on at Cashmerette, great fit, because it's incredibly important to feeling confident in your clothes. And a lot of people don't feel very confident in how to do it, especially if you're curvy. Like historically, that hasn't been something that's really been addressed. And it's a reason a lot of people get disheartened with sewing. They think they get so excited, they put it together and they put it on and it doesn't fit. And then they don't know where to go from there. So we have that club now. And then also we do a lot of one-on-one help. So people can always email us directly every single day. We're helping people. So basically, like if you want to sew, we will get you to the point of having a successful garment one way or another.
And what made you decide, since you did say you launched as a plus size brand and specializing in creating clothing for women who have large busts, what made you decide, okay, we're also now going to serve folks from like all bust size ranges?
So it was a really big decision and not one made quickly. And also, the company had been going for 6 years by then. So when I first started Cashmere in 2015, there were no sewing patterns that fit me, none. And so it was a really big and important mission for me to sort of try and address that. And I also set up the Curvy Sewing Collective with a few other people. And we started campaigning and we started putting pressure, and there's a lot of social media activism of the nice type as opposed to some kind of types you get these days. And what is phenomenal is today there are literally hundreds and hundreds of options if you're
amazing. Yes.
Go to there's a woman called Sarah set up a really cool website called the Curvy Pattern Database. If you go there, every month dozens of more patterns are launched, and this is me could fit in zero when in 2010 when I started sewing.
Wow.
So what's happened is that partly work I've done and obviously work other people have done too, the market for plus size has got bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger, which is absolutely awesome. And I'm so glad that it has. And so we were kind of looking at like, where should we go from here? And what we realized is it's not only plus size people who have big boobs. My mom is a size 6 and she's an F cup. That is not that uncommon. And we constantly, since we launched, got emails from people saying, I'm small and I have big boobs. I don't want to do a 6-inch full bust adjustment on every single pattern. Like it's a hassle. And while it is true that they can, like it used to be the case, if you were a size 28, there was nothing for you, like just nothing. There are lots of things in a size 6, but still it's not great if you constantly have to alter them, and it can be difficult. And a lot of people would like it. So we were like, you know what, there's another audience of people here who are interested in the kind of things we offer. So that was basically the decision to move to everything. Now, we remain plus size first, is what I say. So you will never only see a smaller person in our advertising, ever. We always have plus size people. We design for the plus size first, and then we go down, which is unusual.
Yeah.
Blocks, but if it's not going to work for plus size, we're not doing it. I wrote a book recently called Ahead of the Curve that exclusively focuses on plus size. So we remain our core plus size company, but we've just expanded our size range a bit more.
Okay. And for retailers who might be tuning in today, are these patterns available wholesale? Can they carry them in their stores?
Yeah, so we do. So our patterns are available both as printed patterns, and we sell direct to consumer, but also through retailers and through distributors in Europe and the US. And we also have PDF patterns. So yeah, we have a fulfillment center. So we actually have like a really, really smooth system for ordering. You'll get things the same day or the next day, they'll be shipped out. And increasingly, we're adding to our catalog in the smaller size range, but the majority of what we have is still in the 12 to 32 size range. And we have all kinds of things. We have a discount if you buy more than 30 patterns. We give out free patterns to help you sew up shop samples. We support workshops. And we also have a lot of bundles for retailers, which have been really, really popular, where you can go all the way from, I would like 2 of everything you have, please, which is actually a very popular one, all the way down to smaller curated ones where we say, okay, if you're only going to buy 10 patterns, these are the 10 we would recommend to meet the needs of your customers. And we had a fantastic response from retailers. And I think part of the reason is for a long time, especially before Cashmerette came along, if someone who was bigger than a size 12 or 14 walked into your store and asked you what they could make, the answer was nothing. And not only is that kind of, ethically objectionable, but it puts the retailer in a really awkward position, because you don't really want to be in the business of like looking someone up and down, realizing they're not going to fit in a pattern and telling them. Like, that's a very awful thing to do. And you want to meet the needs of your customers. Over 70% of the US population is plus size. So frankly, if you don't have a wide variety of plus size, you are not meeting the needs of a vast majority of the people who might walk in your store. So basically, for all those reasons, we do a lot of work with retailers.
And do you sell fabric as well, or kits, or is that not part of what you do?
We don't wholesale, no. In fact, we have sort of streamlined our business over time. You can imagine we've like seen what works and what doesn't work. So now with wholesale, we exclusively do our patterns. The book, Ahead of the Curve, that I launched, that has been much more successful than I ever imagined it possibly could be, which is great. It's on its 4th reprinting now in a year. That's available directly from our publisher, and we don't sell it. We don't have the margin to do that directly. But yeah, so that's what we do via retailers. So our core things now are our patterns, our online workshops, the book, and our subscription club.
Okay, great. And how much is the subscription club per month? Because that seems like a really great way to sort of break in and get all your questions answered and really learn.
Yeah, we've had like amazing feedback from club members, I have to say. Like a lot of people saying, I wasn't sure, but I'm totally converted. So we have 3 different tiers. So if you don't have that much to spend, or you're a little bit concerned, or by the way, Curvy Pattern Database, who I called out a few minutes ago, just joined.
I know, I saw. Hi.
So at the base level, it's $9 a month, and you can cancel anytime. So what that means is, if you like a pattern, you can sign up, get it, and cancel for $9.
Right.
Which is actually a massive bargain, because our usual patterns start at $16. So you're getting a very, very cheap pattern from us. And so at $9 a month, you just get the pattern, and that's basically it. Then we have a plus tier, and you get a whole bunch of other things. So you get monthly online workshop from me, and for so many things, from like sort of motivational how to get yourself sewing stuff, through to how to do an FBA, through to how to deal with fitting asymmetries, through to how to sew a bra, like very broad range of topics. And they're all saved up, and you can watch any of them anytime. We also have a live event every month. We have one tonight where we're going to be talking about the bra. There's a discount, and there's also a really thriving online forum as well that's private, which for a lot of people who either don't want to be on Facebook or they don't want to be talking about these kind of things in public, has been really nice. There's also a permanent discount to Cashmerette. So that's a little bit more. That's $12 a month. And then we have, and this is the one you want to get, the All Access, which is a year's subscription. So you get all those things I told you, but you also got every other pattern before you joined. So the monthly people only get the month they join and on, but for that level you get all of them. So we launched in February, so the minute you sign up, you get lots and lots of historic ones, and then there have been other bonuses. So for instance, last month, All Access people got the bra that we just launched for free, an underwired bra, and there are various other kind of like little fun additional things that people are getting given. So we're finding most people are signing up at the All Access level, but yeah, you can always sign up at $9, see if you like it, and then upgrade.
Okay, yeah, that is very smart. So I know you mentioned the Appleton dress was a classic, the first one you launched with, and still a favorite. Is there another specific pattern that you've done over the years that has proved to also be a bestseller?
Yeah, so ultimately, our number one bestseller is, it's a little bit of a wordy name. It's the Upton Dress and Skirt Expansion Pack, or Mix and Match Expansion Pack. So basically, it's one pattern, and it's basically modular. So it's all these different tops, all these different skirts, all these different sleeves, and you can actually make 350 different combinations of dress skirts. So it's amazing value. It really lets you kind of create your own look. And what we found is that it's really suitable for a very wide range of purposes, which I think is why people love it so much. So we've seen tons of wedding dresses, ball gowns, and formal wear. But we've also seen tons of people like make it in Mickey Mouse fabric and go to Disneyland, or do like hacks and things. And, you know, there are just so many different options that are available through that pattern. And so it's interesting when we first launched it because it's a bit more expensive. If you buy the physical pattern, it's literally like an inch thick because there are so many pieces. But the value is really, really amazing. And a lot of people are like, you know, this is the last one I need, especially because it's made specifically with big boobs in mind. It also means for most people, you don't have to do a full bust adjustment because we go up to an H cup. And it's designed in a way that basically just looks really good if you have big boobs. Obviously, because I'm designing for the kind of body shape I have, I'm like very conscious of what looks good. And so, for instance, you'll always have your bra straps covered because it's very hard not to wear a bra if you're an H cup. Like, most people aren't going to do that. And the proportions are really thought about. We also have a lot of built-in adjustments that you don't see. But for instance, we have a sway back adjustment. We have a forward shoulder adjustment, because those are things that the vast majority of people need. And then what we also do, which I think is a bit unusual, is beyond the cup size fit pieces, we have other size fit pieces. So what I mean is we have a standard sleeve and a full bicep sleeve. So if you have slightly larger arms, you don't even need to make an adjustment. You just use that piece rather than that one. On our pants, we have an apple shape and a pear shape. And so we have these different options. And the idea ultimately is to get people to a good fit with the least amount of changes required.
Right. So like reduce the struggle and increase the success rate. So yeah, that's amazing. So well, I want to first thank you for telling us all about the journey and also about the products. I think it's really interesting to hear about. Congratulations on all your success, especially with your book. Which is beautiful, and people should definitely go and check out. And also, thank you for being a Craft Industry Alliance member. I think you've been a member for, I don't know, maybe since the beginning, for a very long time, and we just super appreciate that.
Yeah, I have to say, like, I recommend it to everyone. I feel like a lot of equivalent things are like not necessarily very helpful, but especially the Craft Industry Alliance Facebook group for members is like absolutely invaluable, because it is filled with people who do the same hyper niche thing we do, who have faced the exact same issue. And you can literally be like, I'm trying to register for VAT in this country and it's not working under this, and someone will have an answer. I've hired people through it. I've sourced people, like I've made great connections. So for me, if you run, you know, an indie sewing pattern company at the very least, like I think it's something that it's like a no-brainer to pay the money and sign up.
Oh, thank you so much, Jenny. We really appreciate that. And thank you for everybody who came today. We appreciate all of you for coming to our Member Spotlight, and we will see you next week for our next one. But Jenny, thank you so much, and have a great rest of your day. Enjoy the good weather.
You too. Bye.
Okay, bye.